Hey everybody, Sherri Leopold here. And wow, we've had a little technical difficulties, but you know what? We are women of worth, so we are going to trudge on and we are going to just rock this tonight. I want to just say welcome. Thank you so much for being with us at the second installment of the Women of Worth Summit for 2022. This is about women, and that I'm very passionate about helping women stand up and stand out as that unrepeatable miracle. That's what I do as the leader of the Stop Self-Bullying movement. And so I took that framework of the WOW, which is War on Words, warriors. Those are my tribe of people in my Stop Self-Bullying movement. And I love that word, wow. And you know, when you think about when somebody says, wow, that means look, right? And so I use that word wow for woman of worth. And I wanted to actually shine a light on incredible women because it was Women's History Month, but I chose to do it a little bit different, right? In traditional things with Women's History Month, we talk about women in the past and highlight what they've done that have paved the way for today. I actually kind of wanted to bring it into the future. And so what I chose to do with the Women of Worth platform is salute those women who are writing their own histories today. They're creating the stories and the scenarios that are building the legacy that they want to leave long after they're gone. So these women all have certain characteristics. They're very powerful. They're very strong. They know who they are, and they definitely know their worth, but they come from a variety of different backgrounds. And we have everything from veterinarian candidates to people who have their PhDs in counseling and functional medicine doctors to speakers, authors, trainers. We have a publisher who you're going to hear from also. We have an incredible group of women, and none of them are the same, except that they all know they are women of worth. So this platform is designed for these women who know that it is their right to stand up and stand out as that unrepeatable miracle that they are. We are so excited to be bringing you this amazing event tonight. And our next speaker that is going to be coming up is Sally Green. And she is the creative director at Action Takers Publishing. And she is also known as the self-care rock star. You can see we have a theme here. That's a strong mantra of Woman of Worth, as we understand how important it is to take care of us first. But Sally is a writer. She is a business owner and all things creative. She's also that person, if you need a spiritual or emotional lift, she's one of those people you can always go to because she will always get you there. So thank you so much, Sally, for being with us tonight. And you definitely exemplify the title of Woman of Worth.
Thank you so much, Sherri. I'm so excited to be here and everything. All these women are so remarkable, and I just love being part of all of this.
Thank you. Well, you take it away and wow us.
So I want to take everybody back to 2019. I was stuck in a rut. I was broken. I'd been business owner, you know, in the service industry years, but I had no goals. I had no dreams. Any dreams that I had were just totally shattered. It was the same thing every day. I would get up, feed the cats, go to work, come home, make dinner, you know, watch TV, go to bed, rinse and repeat. It was the same thing every day. And, you know, we were working 7 days a week and we were just barely making ends meet. And, you know, any dreams that I had were gone. And I had no idea how I was going to move forward. And then 2020 hit. And when that happened, I pretty much hit rock bottom. I was, you know, we had lost a big customer because of the pandemic, and financially I was a mess. And one day I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow, you've totally let yourself go. I had no idea who that woman was that was staring back at me. And so I had two choices right there. I could change, or I could sink deeper in a depression, and I would never be able to get back out again, because that's how far gone I believed that I was. And so I began changing, and I started with the one thing that I knew that I could control, and that was my eating. And so I started looking up healthy recipes, and I started eating healthier. And my family and I started going for walks, and I started feeling better. And then I said, all right, well, I'm on a roll. Let's try something different. So I turned off the television and I started reading at night instead of watching TV. And then a little later on, I said, you know what? I need to start investing in myself. I need to start doing things to make myself feel better. And so I paid to take some online classes, something I hadn't invested money in myself in probably 30 years. And so taking that money and investing it in me was a huge step out of my comfort zone. But I and I said to myself, you know what, I'm already in debt. What's a little bit more? And, I need to do this for myself. And so I started doing more things like that. And it was funny because once that I did that and I started going into some of these online groups and meeting some of these people, opportunities started coming my way. And, all my life I'd been waiting for someone else to come and rescue me. But it wasn't until I took that initiative, I stepped out of my comfort zone and moved forward, that opportunities started showing up in my life, and things started to happen. And the first opportunity that happened was that I was offered a chapter in a collaboration book. Now, at that time, I had no idea what a collaboration book even was. And someone offered me to write a chapter. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to be a writer. Here's another opportunity for me to spend some more money on my growth. And so I wrote that, signed up and sent the money over, and I paid to be in a collaboration book. And that was the best money I've ever spent because, I got into this book, and it's funny because it was a book about entrepreneurs. Now, I had a small service business for quite a number of years, for over 20 years, but it was just me. So I wrote this chapter in this book, and we're in these Zoom rooms, and I'm thrown into these Zoom rooms with all of these entrepreneurs, these successful business owners and actors and coaches. And I quickly realized that I was totally out of my element. Here I am, this cute little mom from Connecticut with no connections, no email list. And I'm in here, and I said, you know what? I love all these people. I want to be friends with all of them. And so I went on Facebook, and I grabbed the book. I went on Facebook, and I sent friend requests to almost every single person in the book. And I messaged them on the side, and I said, we're in the same book together. I'd like to get to know you. Do you have anything that's going on? And that was totally out of my comfort zone. And so one of the, there's a few people here that I met. And one of them was Linda Sunshine. And I signed up to join her mastermind. And that was another, investment in myself. And she was helping me to create my own business, my new business. And it was the Self-Care Rockstar, because now I was pouring into me. I was doing the self-care. And I started a Self-Care Rockstar show on YouTube. And I was scared. I was like, all right, I'm all these people that I met, I'm meeting these awesome people. I'm going to invite them on Self-Care Rockstar show on YouTube, and I'm going to interview them. Now, I had never interviewed anybody before. And I was like, all right, I can do this. And so I started sending emails out to people and say, hey, you want to be on my show? And they were saying yes. And so now I'm like, all right, now I got to do this. And so I did it. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I did it. And I kept doing things like that. And I've been doing things like that for the last two years. And, you know, I was interviewing people. Then I was asked to give interviews. I was invited to be on my first summit. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do at a summit? And I had to write a speech and record a speech. And, you know, half the time I had no idea what I was doing. And most of the time I just wanted to quit and say, oh no, you know, I don't belong here. But I just kept persevering. I just kept going. And then Linda asked me to be a contributor in 2 of her books that she was published. She had been publishing collaboration books herself on the side, and asked me to be part of the collaboration books that she was doing. And so at one of the times I was speaking with her, and she seemed a little stressed. And I said, you know, Linda, could you use some help? And she was like, yeah, I think I could. So, you know, and she had done so much for me. She was helping me to build this business, and it was just my way of giving back and saying thanks to her. And so I started behind the scenes helping her to do a little bit of the social media posts, and doing some of the working with some of the authors on their chapters and things like that. And we launched 2 books 8 days apart. They both became international bestsellers. And, you know, Linda was like, wow, you know what? But at this, I love working with you. Let's do this together. And so we changed the name of her publishing company to Action Takers Publishing, and the 2 of us partnered together, and we started publishing books in January of this year. And so, you know, it's been just a constant stepping out of the comfort zone, a constant, you know what, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just going to keep going. And one of the things early on I had, you know, I think Pearl mentioned it, is to keeping that cup filled. That I overheard, I was listening to, you know, the wonderful Les Brown speak. And one of the things that he said early on was, you know, you got to keep your cup filled to overflowing, and only give to other people from the overflow. Constantly keep your cup filled. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing it wrong all these years. You know, all these years I've been giving and giving and giving until my cup was almost empty and I was exhausted. And then I would go, you know, lay down and rest for a few days, and then pour back into myself until it was just filled, and then give and give and give until I was almost spent again. And it was so exhausting. And so the idea of keeping my cup filled and only giving from the overflow was so foreign to me. But it's something that I said to myself, you know what, this is what I need to be doing. This is what I need to continue to do going forward. And it's what I've been striving to do for the past 2.5 years that I've been doing this. And so that's what I want to encourage you to do, is to keep your cup filled, to become that self-care rock star, to step out of that comfort zone and take chances and look for opportunities with some of these amazing women that are here, and people that you're meeting, and look for those uplifting, positive people that you can connect with. And so that's my encouragement and my talk for today.
Thank you so much, Sally. You are always an inspiration. Oh my gosh. I mean, so many nuggets there. I think the thing that really stood out about what you talked about is how you navigated even unsure. It's kind of, I'd say it's probably a characteristic of our Women of Worth award winners, is even in the scary times, you push through and do it anyway. And so that you're going to see that as a common theme with these warrior women who are, you know, even when afraid, pushing through. Is there any advice that you would give to somebody watching that maybe is not sure if they should do something? Maybe give them some words of encouragement?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because, you know, there's so many things that that I've always wanted to do and that I was just always just afraid to do. Or just, you know, I felt like, you know, I don't have the time to do this. You know, I got to pay the bills. I got laundry to do, you know, I got things to do. But you know what, that stuff it can all just go aside. And it's just so important to just pour into yourself, to take that time and just, you know, do things that you enjoy doing. And do things that you love, because you know, and even Pearl said, life is too short. You know,
Absolutely.
you hear
make yourself the priority, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, you just need to do that.
I love that. Thank you so much, Sally, for sharing, and thank you for being one of our 2022 Women of Worth Award winners.
For having me here today.
You are so welcome.